Hello, everyone. My name is Calvin. I am currently here in the great state of Atlanta, Georgia, and I will be baking with you today. Welcome to the Sweet Life with Calvin. So the name of my baking company is called Sharon's Delights by Calvin, and so rightfully so, I wanted to come on here and actually bake for you guys. So what we're gonna do is they're asking me a lot of different things here. Hold on. And product. Okay. All right. So just basically bake for you guys. That's all I wanted to do. And if you have any questions or tips or anything that you might need while you're baking, that is fine. Okay. All right. So this is our first time coming on here. So if you see anything that you might have a question about or anything, that is totally fine. That's no problem. I need to turn my notifications off. So what I'm going to start doing now is what I like to do is I like to nuke my butter first, just to kind of give it some, just melt it so that I can go ahead and put it in my KitchenAid. So I'll go ahead and nuke it for a few seconds. Not even a minute, because I want to make sure that I want to make sure that it's soft enough so that I can go ahead and that the cookies aren't too dry. So I want to make sure it's soft enough so when I'm baking, everything will gel together a little better. I just pulled that butter out of the refrigerator, so it is kind of still cool. Hey, Ziggy. Ziggy played great songs playlist. Great song on Apple. So what I like to do first is I like to nuke my butter. And once I nuke the butter, it allows, for the ingredients to gel together a little better. Let me just put that in there. And to save for time, I try to go ahead and pre-measure all of my ingredients. So as you'll find, I love to do everything with music. So here we go. And then what I do is I like to add my sugar. So I have a half a cup of sugar here. Half a cup of sugar. Then I have a full cup of brown sugar. I use light and brown sugar together. So, go figure. Now you can take this recipe and use it however you like. I like to improvise when when I'm making a recipe or I'm baking cookies or whatever. So I try to use my brown sugar and light brown sugar. It's up to your preference, okay? So then I go ahead and I start letting it mix. And y'all have to forgive me because I cannot see. Oh, wow. Jesus Christ. Where are these people come from? Okay, this is awesome. Hey, y'all. Oh, my God. All these are Tasha's folks. Tasha is so sweet. Oh, my God. Hey, everybody. Thank y'all for coming in. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. This is our first time being on WhatNot. So yeah. So what I'm doing now is just mixing my brown sugar, my cup of brown sugar and half a cup of granulated white sugar and my 2 sticks of butter. Okay. And then once that is mixed fully, I'll go ahead and add my eggs. I'll go ahead and add my 1 tablespoon of pure vanilla extract. You want 2 Room temperature eggs. You don't want to use cool eggs because it will negatively impact your recipe. Okay. So as you'll see, whenever you're cooking anything or baking anything, you want most things room temperature. Okay. All right. So we're just mixing that. So if you have questions, let me know. Thank you so much. Thank y'all for coming through. Thank you so much for coming through. Hey, Tasha. What is going on? Lord Jesus. This is so funny. Thank you so much for the... Aww. Aww. Okay, for the tips. And I think did somebody have some? No. Well, I wanted to kind of explain this. I'm a huge Wonder Woman fan. And so that's why I have on this apron that says Wonder Woman. So shout out to all my Wonder Woman fanatics. I'm a huge Wonder Woman fan. Okay, so now that I've added my 2.5 cups of flour, my one teaspoon of baking soda, 4 teaspoon of baking powder, and then all of that is pretty much here. I've already measured it out together. So all of my dry ingredients I kind of put together, and then I mix all of my wet, with the exception of the sugar, the brown sugar and the white sugar. Okay. So I like to turn it off and add my flour in because I don't want it to go everywhere. So I go ahead and add everything at once. Some people will tell you to mix it while you're putting it in, but I usually don't like to do that. I just like to put it in and then allow it to mix together. We have our own secrets and ways of doing things. So can everybody see the KitchenAid? Mm-hmm. Okay, let me see. Can somebody please invent taste of it? I know that's right. Because I'm always up at 3 in the morning looking at something on TV and I want to taste it. And then the next morning I'm in the grocery store, hunting some fresh hot chicken, fried chicken or something. As I said before, I don't know if most of you are online already. I've already preheated my oven to 350 degrees, and you're gonna bake at for about 10 minutes. I don't like my cookies too dried out, and I don't like them too ooey gooey. So I try to make sure that they're baked to the right consistency. Okay. So now I'm gonna add my 2 cups of pecans. We're going to mix that. And I'm the kind of baker where I always like to taste my stuff. Yep, preheat 350, bake for 10 minutes for the perfect. That is correct, Tasha. That is correct. Now, sometimes it depends on your oven. Now, the ovens may vary, so you may have to cook your cookies once or twice in that particular oven if you've gotten a new oven, and you may not know how the cookies may turn out. So it's an experiment. So if you're a baker, you got a new oven, test it out before you start selling your items. Yes, you can. You got an open invitation, Tasha. Stop playing. Yes, 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 yes. All right. So now we're going to add chocolate chips. All right. And we're going to mix those together. See, one wanted to come out, so I'm going to throw him away. Mm-hmm. Yep. Thank y'all for coming through. I appreciate it. I wasn't expecting this overflow of guests. So now I have my cookie sheet. I don't bake just with the cookie sheet. I like to put parchment paper. I line my cookie sheet with parchment paper, and that allows me to have the perfectly brown cookie on the bottom. There have been times, depending on the pan, they say sometimes when you bake, you end up running into a darker bottom of the cookie. So I don't like a dark bottom of the cookie. I like just maybe a golden brown. Okay. All right, so now that we're through, we're gonna go ahead and scrape off the excess. Yep, yep, yep. But yeah, Tasha, you could come over anytime. You know this. All right. So I usually lick this when I'm making my own cookies, but I'm not gonna lick it right now. So now what I do is I take it out of the kitchen aid. I put everything to the side because I no longer need the kitchen aid now. Okay. So now I'm just gonna scrape the sides so everything is down in the pan once I get ready to scoop the cookies out into the cake plate. I mean, into the cookie pan. Okay. And that's what the dough looks like. It's very soft, a very soft dough. Sometimes I'll put it in the refrigerator. I'll roll it out on parchment paper, put it in the refrigerator, and let it sit and let it set. Because those also ensure when it's frozen dough and you let it thaw, it also helps to have a really good consistent cookie. So I'm gonna go ahead and scoop these out. This is my cookie scooper, which is my favorite. Over the years, I've actually gone through a couple of these. I don't know if they just not well made or what, but I hold on. Need to stop and read the screen. We're rolling everything, papers and cookies. Lord have mercy. Just scooping everything out. Yep. Okay. So we got everything in there. That's what the cookie sheet looks like. I scoop them out. Then once I scoop them out, I've already preheated my oven to 350 degrees and we're gonna bake for 10 minutes. Gonna set my timer. Uh-oh. Oh, Lord. Stop. Don't look like I can set my timer. Hey, Ziggy, set an alarm for 10 minutes.
What time would you like me to set the alarm for?
10 minutes.
Alarm set for 10 minutes from now. It'll play They May Take Our Lives, but They Will Never Take Our Trauma Doll by Spastic Burn Victim from your Apple Music.
So yeah, we have the cookies in the oven. They've been set. They're being cooked for baked for 350 degrees at for 10 minutes. So we're gonna go ahead and let those cook. Okay. Oh yay! That's awesome. That is awesome. This is so cool, y'all. So where's everybody from? Where's everybody from? Okay, North Kakalaki, Omaha, Nebraska, Texas. Okay, and Maryland. Okay, okay, okay. So are you guys bakers too, or y'all just like to eat cookies? I'm a baker and I like to eat. I get enjoyment out of both. Okay, purple Aquarian tortoise. I know that's right. Okay. Yep. Okay. That's cool. So like I said, we have the cookies in the oven for about 10 minutes, and that's gonna go by fast. I usually like to check in on them as well. Um, yep, North Kakalaki. Yep. I've only been to Charlotte. I've never been to like. Is it Lake? No, not Lake Charles. What is it? North Carolina. And I've heard of Sanford, North Carolina, as well. I know someone there. Um, Raleigh Durham. That's right. I've been to Raleigh Durham. Yeah. Um, what is the name of that school that's there? It's Shaw University is in Raleigh Durham, North Carolina, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's a historically black institution. I had the privilege of actually going there one time. So I'm gonna check in on the cookies. Give me 1 second. Yep, they are baking down. And like I said, usually what I do with my dough is I would put them in I would put them, once I make the dough, I put them in the refrigerator because to me, it seems to make a better cookie to me. So before, like if I have an order for cookies, I'll put them in the freezer and let them stay for a day or so. And then I'll take them out when I'm getting ready to prepare the order. And then I'll scoop them and they tend to bake to a perfect cookie. Smell-o-vision would be good. Now that right there, but I would need taste-o-vision too, because I want to taste it and get full. I want to taste it and get full. But yeah, yes. And I thank you all for coming on with me. This is really cool. I'm actually stepping out on faith and kind of doing some things with my baking company. I've always been baking for years, but I've always wanted to share it with the world. So this is giving me that opportunity. And a shout out to my best friend Tasha for turning me on to this app because I think this is so cool. It's not too evasive. I think it's really cool. So yeah. And the person that purchased that recipe, I'm going to make sure I get that to you ASAP. I'm probably going to send it out tomorrow so that I can make sure that you get it. Okay. I'm not even sure, Sonia, if you're referring to the taste division. I'm not even sure. I want to experience it. I don't really care how it's spelled. So, but yeah. Hold on 1 second. And they are baking. They're baking perfectly. Oh my God, they're baking perfectly. Oh, Mel, it was only one recipe that I had, so I wasn't sure what to put on there. So I do have more copies. I do, Tasha. Yes, I do. Oop, I'm not quite sure how to do that, Tasha. Let's see. I'm gonna do this now. Give me 1 second. I'm working on it now. Whew. I don't know what I was thinking when I set this initially. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay. Okay. One second, guys. Okay. All right. So I think we got it in there this time. Okay. Got it in there. All right. I think I got it in there, Tasha. You tell me if it's correct. I think I did it right, though. So let me check on the cookies, guys. Those are so delicious. So this is how the cookies turned out, guys. I'm burning my hands. This is how the cookies turned out. So what I'm gonna do is give them a chance to cool, and then I'm gonna scoop them out, and we're gonna taste one. You have to let them cool because they're actually really, really hot once they come out of the oven. I still like to taste them, but yeah, yeah, Tasha. I don't think it was quite 10 minutes, but they bake down. I don't like for them to stay in the oven too long because my oven will dry them out. Yeah. So I usually like to watch them. When I'm baking them. So I usually like to watch them. But yeah, it was fast. And what happens to them as well is they're really puffed when they come out of the oven. So then when you take them out of the oven and let them cool, they tend to kind of set. They kind of set a little bit. So then once they set, that's when you're able to kind of taste them. They're still very hot, but like I said, I like to taste them anyway, so that they are that they're very good. And then you get you a tall glass of ice cold milk, and then you just have a good time with it. hmm So how's everybody doing tonight? Accessories by Adrian. Yes, I've done oatmeal raisin. I've done macadamia nut cookies. I add coconut to them sometimes, and then I'll even do. I've also did tea cakes. Hey Ziggy, stop. So that was my alarm, Tasha. So that was maybe 2 or 3 minutes off, but it was pretty much accurate. But Adrian, yes, I also do tea cakes, which is a old Southern favorite of mine that I learned from my mom and my grandma. Okay. So they're very tender because, as I said before, the cookie, the actual when I usually put it in the freezer, they set a little better. But all the dough here is very soft, so usually the cookies will turn out kind of soft. So I just let them chill for a bit. Did that answer your question, Adrian? Yes, ma'am. Like grandma's tea cakes. That is correct. Okay. Well, you know what? I can let me see. I'm not sure if you could see my social media on here because I did put it in. If you connect with me on social media, it's just Sharon's Delights by Calvin, and then I can send that. I can send that to you because I have a recipe that I use, but they have many recipes online. And I'm sorry to hear about the passing of your grandma. I told my mother the other day I needed to get all the recipes because I don't want her to, and I know this might sound cryptic, but I didn't want her to passed and we not have a way to remember her, as far as recipes. Because I feel like, with African American culture, we love on each other with these recipes, and they have gone down, through history in our families, with the way how, dressing is made, how the turkey is made, how a good chocolate chip cookie is made. So this recipe is one that I've learned over the years, and I've kind of made it my own with a couple of tips from other recipes. So you said grandma and mama's by by feel and by taste, and then no one can do. Yeah, that is true. And I never could understand that. I'm like, you don't measure nothing? Because I'm like, how do you ensure that the flavor stays the same? Because I'm good for a good recipe. I'm good for a good recipe. But, that's just how they did it back in the day. When they making the greens, like I cannot get my greens like my mama's greens. I swear. And hers are like sweet and savory. Biscuits, yep, that's true too. Especially the buttermilk biscuits, because they get the bowl, and then they make a little hole in the center of the flour, and then pour the lard and the buttermilk in the center, and those make the best biscuits. But you know who has good biscuits, and it's similar to my aunt's biscuits, the biscuits at Cracker Barrel. My aunt used to make a whole, so that bigger than the cookie sheet that I have over here. She used to make a whole sheet of biscuits, and you in biscuits for days. And when I tell you I'm a person that can really, really eat some biscuits, Lord have mercy. Hold on, let me check on the cookies. All right, so we have one of our cookies, and this looks delicious. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a bite, and it's so moist. Oh my God, and chocolatey. Jesus Christ. So, 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 so good. Did anybody have any questions or anything? The consistency of it is really ooey gooey and crunchy on the ends. See? It's really ooey gooey and delicious. You want to smell it? Okay, hold on. Sniff it. And don't be licking the screen, Tasha. But go ahead and smell it, y'all. That's the cookie. But it's so. Look at that. Look at the chocolate on it. And it's pretty consistent. It's not falling apart. And it is delicious. And usually I like to do Ghirardelli chocolate. Because, like when you look at a chocolate chip cookie commercial and they have it where it comes to, you pull it apart and it looks like that ooey gooey cheese. You can execute that with Ghirardelli chocolate. And I like to use milk chocolate. Yes. Okay. That is my goal. That is my goal. My friend Tasha has helped me figure out what I need to do. So next time that I'm on, I can get these shipped out to you. I was trying today because I had gone to the store. I already have some stickers here. I have some stickers, and then I found these little things with the see through, so you could actually see the actual cookie, and then you kind of put it in here, and then I ship it to you guys with these. So I'm working on it. Because I don't like to just look at somebody cook something. I want to taste it. And I want it here in the next 5 minutes, honestly. but yeah, definitely. But I'm actually going to be doing a recipe book. I'm probably talking too much, but my goal is to do a recipe book this year. Not a huge book, but just a book filled with some of my recipes from when I was a child. Um, most of them are filled with recipes that my aunt used to make, like the old fashioned caramel cake, where they used to make the caramel cake from scratch. The lemon cake, where they had the lemon zest in the actual icing. Um, and then of course the butter cake with the chocolate icing. That is a southern staple. Definitely the pound cake, the Kentucky crunch cake. Um, there's so many, I've done, and I'm going to be doing like a pound cake with a mango glaze. There's a lemon lime pound cake. I made that for Tasha one time. Um, but yeah, just continuously adding to the recipe. Yep, 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 yep. So it's something that I found online. A lady that I follow, she did a Kentucky crunch cake, and so when you bake the cake, there's like sugar and butter and something that you pour on the cake while it's in the pan. And so when the cake comes out, it's got a crunchy, sugary consistency. They have a Louisiana one too, and I want to learn how to make that one as well. But yeah, I'm all about desserts. And believe it or not, y'all, I have diabetes, so I can't really be fooling with sugar like that. But I love making things for people. A lot of times when I bake things, I know that I can't eat them here, so I'll take them over to the leasing office and let them have them. But if you all have a chance, take a look at my Instagram page. I have a lot of, Sharon's Delights by Calvin, a lot of items on there that I've baked because I love to show what I've done in the past and share it with people. So you guys have a chance, go over to Sharon's Delights by Calvin on Instagram and Facebook. And that will show you a lot of the baking I've been doing over the years and recently as well. Mel Ramsey said, "Help my waist." I swear. I need to go walking now because I'm finna eat maybe two more of these before the night over with for sure. So yeah, but I'm enjoying this with y'all. I really, really am. Tasha, thank you for bringing everybody over. Um, this is really, really cool. I'm not sure how long this goes for though. Hmm. Thank you, Mel. Thank you, Purple. I appreciate that. Definitely. Yep. And like I said, I usually post things on there whenever I'm baking. Um, yeah. So yeah. However long you want. Really? Okay. Okay. That's cool. I just don't want to bore nobody because I can talk all day long. Anybody have any questions for me? Or any questions about baking on your end? And like, what has everyone baked in most recently? Has anybody been doing any baking recently? Sourdough. Now that's something I really want to get into is baking bread. I saw a recipe the other day for cinnamon. What was it? Sweet potato cinnamon buns, and they were so freaking ooey gooey. And I ain't used to going. I'm not a person to go around licking stuff, but I wanted to lick my TV. I wanted to lick my TV. It was so ooey gooey, and then it had cream cheese, cinnamon cream cheese icing on top of it. And I love bread in any form. Yes. You said you made a peach cobbler, Tasha. Yeah, that counts. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. That does count. My stepdad does a dump. It's like a dump, dump pie or something, where you just pour. I think he does. He puts the dough. I'm not sure how he cooks it. You pour the cake batter in the pan. You grease the pan. You put the cake batter in the pan, and then you put the fruit in there, and then you just bake it. and then it comes out. You know, you don't put a lot of thought into it. You just put it together. No, I brought okay. And what we're gonna do too on here, y'all, is we're gonna bake together. So the next time I come on, I'm gonna tell you all the ingredients, and we're gonna bake it together. You can mix pie filling. Mm-hmm. Yep. Because they have the pie filling already made. They really take the guessing out of a lot of this stuff. They really, really do. They really, really do. But I'm having so much fun with y'all just talking about this bacon and stuff. Jesus Christ. Has anyone watched this show called High on the Hog? Not sure if anyone's seen that, but that show, it is amazing, and it talks about the thank you, Tweet Co. I appreciate that. Thank you. But I was talking about the High on the Hog. It's actually a book. And yes, it is very interesting because it talks about food from its origin. So, how macaroni and cheese was made, which was by Black people. We didn't make the pasta, but we put it all together. We also, um, it talks about food from Benin all the way to the United States, and how food has grown over the years, and our contribution as Africans to what people eat today. You know, the most mainstream thing is macaroni and cheese. And, you know, I've been cooking dinner while you're baking. Hold on, let me see. Dinner ready. Pork fried rice and egg rolls. And some, okay. Okay. All right, Mel. That's cool. But you said pork fried rice. See, you instigating something. Now I want pork fried rice. Yes, I do. I'm gonna show y'all one more cookie. We're gonna eat one more cookie together. That's how it turned out. And see the bottom? That's what makes me feel like it's a bakery style cookie. Because bakery cookies look like that on the bottom. You see that? And how flat the cookie is. It's just a perfect size. It's not burnt. You want me to tell my phone pushing it through the screen purple? I wish I could. I wish that was part of WhatNot. But this is really, really good. Cause I don't like to bake them too long where they get where they look like they've been cooked too long. Cause I did that one time. I had a friend that come over and I baked them too long. But he was like, man, these damn cookies still good. He ate them. They were hard as rocks. But they were still good and I just cooked them too long. So, but yeah. And look at the inside. It's just perfect. I love it. So y'all, I'm about to get ready to go because I have some other things I really, really need to do before this night is over with. But I've had an awesome time with you guys. Thank you all for stopping by. Thank you, Tasha, for bringing the gang over. I appreciate it. And we're going to do this again. Okay? All right. And you guys take care. I'll talk to you all soon. Okay? Bye, and thank y'all for coming. Be sure to check out Sharon's Delights by Calvin on Facebook and Instagram. And I hope to talk to y'all soon, okay? All right, bye bye.